Yeah, what it do, baby? Welcome to Vegito Saint Army. Thank you guys for liking, watching, and subscribing. Don't forget the motherfucking OGs are here. Alex to my left, no, to my right, to your left. You hate to see it. Chris under me as usual. Pause. You hate to see it, but don't forget, if you guys are getting any Z leaders, any fucking leaders at all, Davidson TCG. Forever. The new OGs, the new sponsor of Vegito Saint Army. If you want to join Vegito Saint Army, you can get either a Pro Mats mat or a jersey, or now a Davidson TCG metal leader. It's gonna be fucking lit. Alex, what's up with the hose? What's up with life, bro? Say what's up to everybody.
How's everyone doing today?
Okay, Chris, what's up, bro?
I'll be real with you.
Yeah, hell yeah. Chris, where the hose at?
Currently 0, but we're getting there.
Skirt. Okay, look, if you guys look, so I go through phases, okay, where I play very competitive stuff, and then I play very jank stuff. If you've been with this channel long enough, you know. You've seen me play Vegex with the boot chain. You've seen me play Hit. You've seen me play, bro, I lifed that red Agent of Destruction. Y'all fucking know how many times I've played with the energy swap Vegeta. So I got a jank deck, but this time it's not bad. This time it's fucking not bad. So I'm gonna give all the credit though, because sometimes you don't do it all yourself. But this time I'm gonna give all the credit to myself because I built this whole thing from fucking scratch. I'm just playing. Alex and Chris. Okay, so real quick.
No, I'll say this is Chris.
Okay. Give it to Chris. So there's an anniversary box coming out, and the anniversary box now. The anniversary boxes in the past, I feel like would give cute support to older decks, but not really actually make them like fire. You know what I mean? Like when I see anniversary like box shit, I'm like, but it's never like. I did the shitting sound for the first one, and then like the UI sound for the second one. By the way, guys, you guys can hear it. But okay, so again, this one I actually do think. So let me show you. They've been revealed, and the detectives of Dragon Ball Super card game, from the main group have seen them. Okay, so Vegito, a new look. Steal his look. It's one Zenkai, so it can be brought out pretty quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, one Zenkai, right. So for the Z Awaken Double Strike, it's for 1 energy and it goes over the red Vegito. So the reason this whole fucking deck profile is going on right now that you guys are watching is because this is the set 2 Vegito, and the set 2 Vegito has been through so many, like, I don't want to say reworks, but like there's been so many support cards like given to this deck, and nobody fucking gives a shit. Like nobody plays it. Like nobody, I mean they do, but this is not good. And I think this is really good support, and Alex hit me up the other day and he's like, yo, this shit's kind of a heater. So okay, so check it out though. Okay, so this leader can Z Awaken really fucking early. It's 15k double strike, right? The Z Awaken is 1 energy, permanent. Your Son Goku and Vegeta cards are also treated as red, blue, green in all areas. So obviously, same as the actual leader card front and back. 2 activate mains. The first one, if you have 3 or more energy, you can choose one of your Vegito Z battle cards. Play up to 1 Vegito card with an energy cost of 8 from your hand on top of the chosen card. This is so nasty. We're gonna go into it in a second. The second activate is so ridiculous. The second activate main once per turn plays 1 card from your hand at the bottom of the deck. Draw 2 cards. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and return it to the owner's hand. I know that bounce is a blue thing. I know that bounce is not as good as bottom decking or whatever, but I mean, at least you're just free removing. Like a slug would kind of fuck this deck up in a few different ways, but this leader doesn't give a shit. Okay, now the second card that's really good, before I hand it over to the creator of this deck, the Dr. Frankenstein, is now the Vegito Ready When You Are. Now remember, the Z Awaken comes out really early. This guy does too. It's 1 drop green for 1 Z energy. It's deflect, thank God. If you have 3 or more colors in your Z energy, this card gains barrier, which is sick. When this card is played, look up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Vegito card among them to your hand, shuffle your deck, and if you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. Activate main. If your leader is a red Vegito card, its front side is facing up. You have 2 or more energy, and you remove this card from the game. Flip one of your leaders to its backside and draw 2 cards. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the. Let's remember what these motherfuckers do. By the way, let's get into real quick, Alex. Alex and Chris, before we get into showing these motherfuckers the list, what do you guys think about these two cards, and why do they make this deck so much better?
Well, so Chris in the past had been wanting to play with this leader, but he's verbally said, "Oh, the leader's garbage. I can't self-awaken."
And he's right.
Really, you have to play the little guy self-awaken. Doesn't draw on the front side.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't draw on the front side this day and age, you're not a great leader.
Yeah.
You're not even good. So this thing awakening just, I'm gonna flip over on 2, and it doesn't self-rep either, so you can just leave yourself at like 7-8 life if your opponent hasn't hit you yet.
UI Goku vibe,
Just- Yeah, just being able to just flip over, draw 2 cards, and I mean, while it's not super relevant, it's not an awaken skill. It's an auto, or it's an activate main skill, so even if they hit your leader down with the unison, flip it back, you can just flip it back again, because it's an activate main, not an awaken.
Right. Okay, let me see. Let me go right into the deck list then. Chris, you still with us?
You know it.
Okay, bet. Let me go into this list for you guys watching at home. So, okay, one of the biggest things, the first thing that we're seeing here is, okay, so obviously we're putting Senzu Bean in it because we just have blue energy. King Vegeta's Imposing Presence is obvious. Raditz, Sand Youth, you can play 4 of these. I like this really cute Goku super combo that gives you like 20k combo, whatever. I'm going to power through some of the obvious shit. Frieza's Death Ball, we can hit some of these later too if you want. This is a really good red card. Your leader is going to be Double Strike inherently, so giving critical to him or one of your like triple strikers is really good. Obviously Koichikai is a really good card, especially this upcoming set. We like Vegeta Resolve Renewed because it's an amazing card. Divine Presence. We like this multicolor Piccolo at 1 or 2. We could take it out, but it's just so like really good. Okay, now into testing the ops, obviously really good, and 1 SS4 Vegeta, Fang Greeting, because we love that card. All right, now into the deck. Chris, explain to us why you're playing this secret rare. You're playing the 8-drop Power Patora Vegito. It's the triple striker that when you play it, you draw 4 cards, and you choose 4 of your opponent's cards, and then switch from a rest mode. Why this guy in this deck instead of the red Vegeta SCR, or, I don't know, Pan, or Kai, or some shit?
So, the biggest argument for this secret rare over all the other ones is the new Z leader, saying that if you have 3 or more energy, you can choose a Vegito Z battle card and play an 8-drop on top of it. And this Power Portara is Vegito, meaning that you can free play this card on your 3rd turn, which means that if you're first, they only have 2 energy up. So if they left anything up defensively for like a Violent Rage or something, well now it's rested and you just drew 4 cards without tapping. Well, you tapped 1 pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask a very like fucking obvious question, but I saw you do it a lot yesterday. How significant is that? Like, how often are you doing that? How plausible is you doing that?
So, it being a 1-of definitely gets in the way. The leader drawing 2 is definitely useful, and the 5-drop Vegito that unions for free that also draws 2, and the 7-drop that draws 2. So you do a lot of drawing in this deck, and you just have to get through your early game. And realistically, you should see this card pretty quick, especially because the Z Vegito card looks top 7.
Thank you. That's what I wanted you to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it grabs it.
I wanted you to hit that. When this card is played, look at the top 7 cards on top of your deck, add up to 1 Vegito. So I was setting you up for that because like you fucking just did that shit like back to back, I think, yesterday, and that was fucking hilarious. Like resting, we were playing against Bulma, and like he just rested everything and then went right into the SCR and drew 4 cards. And the only weakness of this deck, and I mean like blatant weakness, I'm not talking about like overall, like, you know, every deck has a little flaw, but the turn 1 isn't great, right? So I think one of the reasons that I like the deck that you built here is that there's a lot of 1-drop cantrips, and we'll go right into that, but I like them as a turn 0 kind of play, and I also like other shit you got going on here. So tell me about Vegito Resolve Combined, a card we have here at 4 of. If you're trying to build this deck, you probably already have this. I think it's from an old anniversary box. I could be wrong.
It's from the AOD anniversary box.
Right. So Barrier Unibatora, the leader card is Red Vegito, and you draw 2 cards over a Goku Vegeta. And then you got the activate main or battle. Play up to 1 Vegito card with energy of 7 or less from your deck on top of this card. And then you can tap 4. You hate to see it. Choose up to 1 Vegito card with energy cost of 10 or less in your hand and play it on top of this card. Alright, so Chris, what you got on this card? The 5-drop red Vegito.
So this card, before everything, was the best card of the deck. And now with the new support, it's the second best card of the deck. Easily because it's a tab 2 effect. It plays out the green Hyper Rush Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, which is insane because this can be your turn 2 or 3. And you're going turn 2 to 3 saying, I'm going to play a triple striker that pops a card, rips a card out of your hand, and I draw 2 and rip up to 2 life. Yeah.
So in lamest terms, what's the coolest thing about this deck? That you're turn 2 playing Hyper Rush? Is that something you'd say? That you're turn 3 playing the secret rare basically for free?
Yes. It's about your turn 2, you are usually playing your Vegito Resolved and your Z card. You're doing your play because the best part of Resolve combined is that he's free. So your turn 1 play, if you can see the 4-drop Vegito that plays 2 of them out of the deck, you can do turn 1. Or your
Vegito
turn 1 is played
Pylomorphic, sorry?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you fuse that, or you go turn 1, play the Z card, you pass, you flip your leader, you do the same poly play Resolve, and then you Z Awaken.
Got it. So you've got Vegito, Polymorphic Patora. Again, I feel like Vegito has a really cool fan base for like people that there's a really, I guess, loyal fan base to this deck, which I like. So a lot of you guys actually already know what these cards do. But activate main for 1, place this card in a drop area from your hand. And if your leader card is a Vegito card, choose up to 1 Goku and 1 Vegeta in your deck, or drop area with energy cost 2 or less. Negate their skills, play them in rest mode, shuffle your deck, and look through it. And you can play non-Vegito battle cards for the duration of the turn. At the end of the turn, place all battle cards played in a battle area by the skill in your owner's drop areas. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is just a way to get, because unfortunately it's not Union Fusion. It is Union Patora, which means that your cards have to be on board. And funny, Alex and Chris are both looking to see if there are any Scion targets, and there weren't somehow. I couldn't believe it. But
I wish there were just one.
Yeah.
They're all either BR Xenos or youth/childhoods.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how early are you playing Hyper Rush Vegito then?
So your realistic turn to play it is probably your second turn if you can see
Realistically,
polymorphic
that's
and
so
resolved.
insane. That's so insane. Realistically, playing a 25k triple striker where you play this card if your leader card is Vegito, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and a card in your opponent's hand and place it in the drop area. Then you draw 2 cards. Then you may choose up to 2 cards in your life and add it to your hand. I saw Chris sniping some good shit yesterday, because this isn't like your opponent drops one, you actually choose the card, which is really nice.
When I was playing Kai of Time, he hit the one negate I needed to keep in my hand.
Yeah.
He hit it right out of my hand. This thing nets you like card advantage over your opponent.
Yeah.
You're taking 2 life, you're drawing 2 cards, your opponent's losing a card, you're getting
True.
5 cards in advantage as well as a triple striker into that. And if you do have the energy to still work with on the next turn, or even that turn if somehow you still have the energy, then you can just throw the crit freeze on it. You've taken a card out of their hand, went +4, swing triple crit at them. And now
Yeah.
they either have
That's so
or they
disgusting.
lose 3 cards.
I actually have a question for all of us, because this is something I've kind of realized, but this Vegito says to place the cards in the drop, not KO.
So
Yeah, it gets around stuff like SS4 thwarting in rest mode.
yeah.
As long as if the cards say they can't be KO'd while in rest mode, this still gets them because it says place it, not KO.
But
It's the same thing as the King Vegeta Unison in green.
yeah, which is pretty great. Another reason why this card's even better then.
Yeah, I wonder why it felt like yesterday I was watching you play and there was a sense of hand destruction in the game for some reason. Like there was a sense of outvalue, which is not something I'd ever place with this fucking leader. Because I always thought this leader, I don't know, it was weird. And I'm not saying that's just like the truth all the time.
No, I mean I definitely get it.
why.
Like Alex mentioned in the beginning, I played this deck like I read our leader and I said, wait, it makes all your cards funny, but that's funny. So I built like a small deck and tried it with Alex, and I went, the leader's funny, but like it's too slow and gimmicky. And now with the new cards, it really builds the consistency that the deck needed.
Yeah, 100%. It's really those two cards coming out of the anniversary box that make it really good. You also have some backup here. You have two Thorin Blows, my favorite card in the game.
Thorin Blows.
Yeah, dude, that shit. Dude, what a fuck, like, dude, that guy is like immortal now in this channel. And that card's obviously good. It's just really good. This deck has like really good removal. One of my favorite spices that we put here. I mean, ever since we love this Sin Shenron deck. I'm having second thoughts now about GT. I love the Sin Shenron deck, but the 8-drop. And it's funny because we were talking about, Chris and Alex were telling me, like, oh, we were talking about how, there's no way we're going to play this when Asif brought it up. But no, bullshit. We can actually, there is a Z leader we haven't thought of, and it's this one. And Chris, I'm glad you didn't bring it up, Chris. I know you were holding your tongue on it, but this guy can get played for 2 energy. If your leader card is a Z leader and you have 3 or more energy, which is sick. It's just deflect, like, triple strike, 30k, and that's just so nasty. And he negs shit, like... We've already gone over this guy's effects, but obviously he's just absolutely ridiculous. Like,
so when I played against Chris yesterday,
I
played 4 different decks, and he curbed me in 3 of them.
Dude, it was bad, and they weren't like bullshit decks. It was like Bulma, like he was playing good shit, and like
one of the decks was Bulma, one of the decks was. I curb stomped him with King Cold because I just kept hitting his
and King Cold's
little cantrips.
You also like knew the outplay. Yeah, you were also doing shit.
After playing it a few times, I'm like, I kind of know what to do, but it was still really hard. But like when I was playing Bulma, I didn't expect to get killed on turn.
Demolished, dude. No, he was hitting you like He was you were also playing him in hard mode, which I was shocked. He was still going through it, but like when he was winning. It wasn't just a barely win.
It wasn't close.
He was like, oh yeah, I also had Thorin Blows, I had Feigned Greeting, and I had an Omega Shenron.
And I had 2 beans in hand.
Like, I had beans. He kept like beating and shit. I was like, yo.
No, bro, the game with Bulma, like no one saw that but us.
Yeah,
but
it was
what
funny.
did I have in hand? 6 cards in hand to his 14.
Yeah, that was weird too. I don't get it, but So, okay, another thing is the 8-drop Super Saiyan Blue Vegito the Savior. This is the dual attack critical that, like, is gonna get double strike. But this is just, like, a really good fucking card. What was I gonna say? And you're bringing this out, like, what, with the
leader skill. Yeah.
With the leader
we
skill,
pretty much run it because it's a second target for if we play the Secret and they live, which, you know, realistically, you catch people off guard, but in a best of 3, this probably work, like, once. And then at that point, they're going to play it. So we play this guy as an additional, and it's also even more pressure because we could get into a turn where it's like, oh, I didn't see the Secret turn 3. That's okay. I'll just do my dual attack critical instead.
And one thing I like, okay, so this is like the main focus of the deck. Is definitely, and I mean definitely, playing this SCR of Power Batora. Like, definitely playing this SCR. I'm not bullshitting. Like, I know, I love Pen, I love Kai. I love these SCRs, but it's just like, I feel like this SCR is way too good. Like, watching him play that multiple times yesterday, I'm like, dude, you're drawing 4. Like when he's playing against Bulma, he completely rested everything, and I'm like, dude, this is way too nuts. Like, and it's being played for free. Like, there's just no reason not to run this SCR. It's way too good in this deck. It's way too broken. Like, you want to play this SCR. Another main idea, obviously, the 2 new cards. A combination of the Vegito Resolve combine. Hey, what would you say is the, like, if a new player is getting into this deck list and they're trying to play the deck, what would you say this new player would want to keep in his hand on the mulligan stage? The 5 and the 4-drop Vegito?
So, if you want the greediest, juiciest turn of going triple strike and next turn triple strike, you want to basically mulligan 6 to polymorphic and resolve combined. Yeah, if you find both those in your hand, your turn 1 turns disgusting because now you go polymorphic, fuse to resolve. It's 25k barrier. This is not getting outed on someone's turn 1.
Yeah.
And then you go turn 2, play your Z card, Awaken, Z-Awaken, and it's like, they're scared of your curve now because your turn 3 is about to go bazinga because you're about to tap into a triple striker and free play a triple striker, and you still have 4 beans potentially to play even more triple strikers.
I think that this is one great thing about design. Sometimes they strike with an iron's hot as far as like a new like keyword coming in or something, and this is one perfect example of like knowing that you're getting a good effect and putting it on the right deck. Like, I remember before, there's a red Vados deck from, like, set 2 or 1, whatever. And I remember it got, like, a really good 1-drop, right? And the same thing happened to Blue Beerus. Like, it would get support, but I'm like, okay, but you have to draw into that fucking card. If you don't see that turn 1, you're losing so much advantage. If you don't see it turn 2, you're losing so much advantage. But this card is in your extra deck. You're not whiffing, dude. Like, this card is fucking being seen. This card is like, you can't fuck this up. And like, this Z leader is like, you're drawing, you're double strike. It's a good Z leader, like, you know, and it's like, you can do it at 8 life or whatever. So like, it's like, it's really consistent. It's really good. It's really, so one thing Alex and Chris are talking about, we're keeping the list at 50. And the actual engine, you've already seen it. On the top left row here, it's the Vegito, Polymorphic, and the Resolve combined. And then you want to add some Vegitos that you want to play. You've got the 8-drop here. You've got Hyper Rush, I think is important. Thorn Blows is important. Now, one of the things that we were first doing is we were playing. Oh, what are the blue guys? The Halo guys.
They were called the Saiyan Duo Goku
Saiyan
and
Duo.
Vegeta.
So they were playing like the Saiyan Duo, and that's not bad at all. But like, we like now these 1-drops way more just because they draw a card, right? Like, worst case scenario, turn 1 you can just draw them. By the way, this card at 4 of is a joke, and you should never do it in a realistic deck. The reason it's at 4 of here, realistically you want 1 or 2. The reason it's 4 is because it's obviously a target and it draws on play, right? We understand it has unique, we get that, but if we already have one on board, then we don't fucking need it. You know what I mean? Like, but
basically, in the next format, you're just gonna be if you have extras that you don't care about, you just combo them off for Z energy.
Yeah, and hey man, if you yeah, right. And if you want to change some of these ratios, we understand. But you do want a few of them. This 1-drop green Vegeta is really good. It's barrier. It draws when played, which is all you need. When your opponent switches their energy to active mode, using a counter skill, you place one of your opponent's life and 1 current energy in a drop barrier. So this is like the blue hate for D-Magic. Whatever. It's just, honestly, it draws on play. You can get more creative with these, but this is the one we like. We like draw power. Resolve Renewed is obviously like a good target. So do you guys here? Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back to the OGs. All right. So what do you guys have anything to add to the deck? Anything you guys liked? Anything you were surprised about? Like, I'm surprised about how consistent this shit was. Like, when you guys were looking at it, like, you called me, you're like, Frank, you gotta check this out, and I was like, all right. Like, he's clearly got some heat, and I saw it and I was like, oh, this is really good, you know. So what's something that you guys saw that you're surprised about that you think people are gonna love about this deck off the bat when they try it?
Well, my favorite thing, I think, is that you can run one of 3 IARs in the deck.
Yeah,
we chose Frieza. We chose Frieza Death Ball because it's essentially, you know, a 25k combo. But if you want to go more, I have advantage over my opponent, you can play Cell Kamehameha, rip a card out of their hand. Or if you want to play more defensive, you play UI Kamehameha so that you tap it and untap one. Or you can go aggressive with it and draw more cards. But I do like that you have the option of playing 3 different IARs within one deck because all the Goku and Vegetas are 3 colors.
With Vegito Rush, you're right. I feel like sniping 2 cards out of my opponent's hand is like bad. Like, that's bad for them. So that's cool. What were you gonna say, Chris?
No, I was agreeing with him. I think the fact that the attackers, you can play 3 different versions is great. Another thing that I wanted to test more with is a Dispo engine to basically recycle your 1-drops, meaning that you might get in a situation where, oh, you didn't see Polymorphic, or you're in a grind game and you need to fuse. Well, you would go Dispo to play a free 1-drop, you play for any other 1-drop, you can trip it, and then now you have union targets and you can continue your plays.
Oh my god, you're right. We didn't, like, we started the sideboard. I mean, so we were talking about earlier, it's like, it's going to be Imposing Presence or Violent Rays. A lot of you guys are probably going to main the Violent Rays instead. I don't know, depending on the format. That's not the important part of the deck here. The important part is obviously the main engine of the Vegito. BMS is a great card, obviously. The Vegito is a great sideboard. It's just like, what we're trying to do is just show you just the main engine of it. But so anyway, no, I'm glad you mentioned the Dispo, because the Dispo combo is so good here. with the 1-drops. I guess, yeah, what happened? We took it out?
I had a saving error.
Oh,
and then
you
I
did, you
realized
fuckhead. Yeah, I remember now. But you do want to keep this deck at a tight 50, because you want these cards early on. The deck is...
You need to see polymorphic
Yeah.
turn 1. Like,
But-
Yes.
you really want to see that card turn 1.
And I was just telling you guys about how shocked are you about how good it works, but like, you know, in my search for fun jank, right? I do have that side that I love. I try to keep it very balanced. When I go really sweaty when I go sweaty, and then sometimes I go really like creative. So like I remember when I was playing the yellow ape deck, I know for a fact that ape deck had a very high ceiling, and it was reachable, but it's hard to reach it. I think maybe because of the hand draw, it's hard to put a finger on it. But this deck seems like very pop off, kind of fucking. It's able to just go off like turn 2 or 3 out of nowhere. Even if you feel this is weird too. It feels like it catches up quickly too. It feels like it's able to kind of like catch up with hand draw and just out resourcing your opponent, which is really sweet. So do you guys see any ideas or anything different you do in the future with this leader? I'm trying to think of any new cards coming out, but I don't think they're very generic for it.
Not new, but a card idea that we discussed briefly is you can play a Heartful Plea, because Z Awakening is currently ruled as an Awaken, meaning you can Heartful Plea, meaning that if you play Resolve Combined turn 1, and maybe you're up against a slow matchup, well, you can just throw that, you can just Awaken and drop a Heartful Plea, and now you offering them with another Triple Striker that you're about to stack with more Triple Strikers.
Yeah, Heartful Plea's not surviving this ban list. We'll have a video where we talk about this ban list coming out, but there's just Heartful Plea's getting dumber and dumber every set, and I don't mind it. I'm not
the new
saying,
red
like,
leaders.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, like, yeah.
In my opinion, a good card to look at for the future is King Vegeta Hidden Ambitions, the counter for red. When you get 3 or more energy if they use a free counter. Because the thing is, with this deck, you're forcing your opponent to use free counters because your SCR rests all their energy.
Of course, yeah.
Telling them, go ahead, dormant me, sparking me with D-Magic, use Power Burst Sparking. I'm going to counter it because you have no energy and you have to use those as sparkings.
And because this deck is a blue-green-red color deck, you can get very janky and run stuff like Demon Explosion Wave if you really want to get there.
Hell yeah.
I think King Vegeta's Hidden Ambitions is
I mean, of course you're right. But you know, half jank, half serious.
Yeah,
right.
That card is just so
Vegito
expensive. Like, I'm not tapping 3. I'm not tapping 3 either. But
You
if
mean
I'm
tapping
tapping
2?
1, yeah. I'll tap 1 for that fucking guy. He's 1 energy. King Vegeta's hitting me. He's 1 energy. I'll fuck with that.
It comes down to why would you tap 3 for Demon Explosion Wave when you can tap 1 for King Vegeta?
Because it doesn't hit hatch.
Yeah, he does.
rest my
Yeah.
case.
He has some other shit, but
Does Hatch say you have to be at 3 energy or your opponent has to be
Well,
at 3 energy?
I mean, you have to be at 3 energy, but you don't always win those dice rolls.
But still, that's if they have Hatch on turn.
Of course, and you know, you just play around it.
you know what's gonna happen if you seriously play this deck? It's gonna be one of those leaders that people don't know what the fuck it does. And if you're an aggressive leader, you're gonna go after this leader, and you know that shit decks do when they do a lot of damage turn 2, and then they're like, yeah, you're not gonna do shit next turn. I'll kill you turn 3. This deck is gonna be a huge clapback deck on people. This deck's gonna fuck people up.
Yeah. And my favorite thing, realistically, and I'll go back to it again. My favorite thing is the Imperial Inspiration Frieza. Because the thing with this deck is that we went over it yesterday. Is that a lot of your shit already has double strike, triple strike, double strike, double strike, triple strike. And why would you run Champa then? But
yeah, I wanted to run Champa,
yeah, but we were already thinking about Champa.
Yeah.
And if we don't need Champa, fuck it, just throw in Frieza.
No, it's like, what are you giving double strike to? Everything is triple strike. It's like quadruple strike.
Exactly, yeah.
Just give it critical.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes so well with the deck. Do you guys have any closing thoughts? Any text? Anything at all? Or was that it? I already milked all your spice out of it.
Well, technically, the rest of Zenkai is yet to be revealed, and there could be more spice for this deck. We don't know.
They haven't even revealed any of the anniversary box. We just know from like snippets.
Yeah,
Like
we
everything shown
we
is, like,
only
yeah.
know the front row of like the 18 cards they showed.
Yeah, dude.
Did they reveal all the anniversary stuff last year, or did they not reveal that stuff? They just kind of revealed.
Dude, I don't remember. I don't fucking
I don't
remember.
remember. I don't remember
I
either.
have no
All
idea.
I can ask is, Bandai, can you please give us one-drop vanilla Goku and Vegetas that aren't like BR or anything? I want to play Scions in this deck.
I wonder if it's good design or accidental shit that they haven't made. Because I couldn't believe there
it's
weren't
just
any.
accidental, because they have
I
a
think
lot
it's
of vanilla
accidental.
Gokus, but all the vanilla Goku and Vegetas that are like Goku Vegeta, they're like 2-drop 20Ks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's awesome. Alright, so if you're watching from home, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any spices? Let me go back to this fucking deck. Yeah, do you guys have any spices? Do you like our deck? Do you not like it? Is there anything that you'd like to add? Yeah, I can't get out of the screen. I'm sorry, just kidding. What would you add to it? What would you not add to it? What leader do you think this fucking anniversary box is gonna make better? I already know making a SS4 Vegeta deck profile. Just because I love that leader. I don't know how good it's gonna be. We gotta still test a lot.
Bulma, right?
Yeah, it's the Bulma and it's all the Z cards coming out too. So a lot of decks are getting support from this set and this anniversary box coming. So what deck? Tell me what deck you guys are excited about. Tell me what decks you'd like to see us post about, and I'll see y'all next time. Let's